guys, and welcome to my next Walking Dead chat. This is the chat for season 4, and like always, just a disclaimer, even though we do look back at this particular episode, we will be talking about things in the future, maybe news for season 9 and all of that, so, you know, spoiler warning for this. The other disclaimer I'm going to put is with this one, I don't really want to say technical difficulties, but I guess so. For some reason, my headphones weren't working for and Imon couldn't hear me at all, no matter what headphones I was trying. So I had to record her without headphones in, and because of that, she sounds just a teensy bit echoey. So I'm really sorry about that. This is kind of my first go at videos like this, or I guess not videos, audio things like this. I apologize to you if that is at all annoying, and I apologize to Imon because, you know, I really wanted all of these to come out perfectly. But, oh my God, let me tell you guys that Imon is just one of the sweetest people that I've really encountered in my reacting days and everything like that. She is just so wonderful and sweet and kind and generous. And going back to this episode was a delight with her. We talk about the governor and how, you know, effective he was as a bad guy. And we talk about how far Tara has come. And we really get into all of the crazy scenes in this mid-season finale, from Herschel's death to that final shot. And I hope that you guys are so excited for this. I was absolutely delighted that she wanted to be a part of this series. And yeah, let's get into this chat.
We're on easy street, and it feels so sweet, 'cause the world is but a treat when you're on easy street.
Hey guys, and welcome to our next Walking Dead chat, where we will be taking a look at the mid-season finale of season 4. So today I am really excited because we are joined by the wonderful and beautiful reactor, Imon Snow. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I was really excited when you decided that you would actually want to be a part of this. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to do this because I haven't really reacted or done any, well, I guess obviously I haven't reacted with other reactors, but I haven't done a lot of these types of interactions, and so
yeah,
I was excited.
Yeah.
I've done it with Sam from the JBS channel and Jarrell, but I haven't really, and the normies, but I haven't done it with any other people. And I know you, and I know a lot of other reactors because I watch you guys, so
right.
Just we haven't done one of these before, so I'm excited.
Good, great. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of first talk to you about when you started watching The Walking Dead. Did you start reacting to it, or did you watch it beforehand?
I started watching it probably when I was around 20, I think, because it's been out for about 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't
been a while.
So I didn't start reacting to it until I think it was going into season 7. I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe the end of season 6, maybe.
Well, season 7 opened with the Glenn and Abraham.
Okay, so
business.
I did season 6 then. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I know. After you start reacting to things, a lot of stuff, you can't even remember, what you did, even a week ago.
I know. Yes. Yeah, but so I started, I've been watching it since it kind of came out, and then I got on the reaction train a lot later.
Was there a reason you started reacting to it? Was like, were people requesting it, or were you like, oh, this is a super react worthy show?
I don't know. I just remember, like, I remember coming across Officer Friendly's reaction channel, which is Shady, if nobody else knows that's Shady. And I was just like, she's so funny. And I just kind of was wanting to reminisce, like, how I felt. And so I started looking up reactions. And I think it was after I started doing that, I was like, you know what? I've always been in love with TV shows and movies. This might be a thing I can do. And I didn't know how it was going to go at all. I just was like, I got a camera and a laptop, had the money finally, and just was like, okay, let's do it. But I think it was like her Officer Friendly's channel that kind of was like the motivation to do it, because I was like, but her stuff is really funny and relatable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, so I guess we'll just like get right into the mid-season finale. So I honestly, season 4 is one of my favorite seasons of the entire show. So because I think it focuses so much on like what this world can actually do to a person.
Yeah.
And obviously that's like such a big kind of showcased with the governor, even though we didn't really see him before. I feel like he really kind of got changed completely from what he was before this all went down.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he changed for the worse. Right, like he kind of lost his mind completely.
I mean, a little bit. I think keeping your zombie daughter and, you know, like just wanting to torture people. Listen, you know, we all have our inner demons, I guess. I don't know.
I know. I mean, he may have been a kind of a crazy guy before the apocalypse happened. Or he had something going on. Because that's like a big jump. That's a big leap. I don't know.
Yeah. So going into the governor, because before the mid-season finale, they kind of focus on him a bit. And I think they try to like pull one over us and kind of act like, oh yeah, he's changed for the better.
Yeah.
Everything's fine now. And which was a bunch of crap.
Right.
Honestly. But what I found to be so interesting and was the fact that like he comes across this new group of people and in like minutes he convinces them all to like become an army and go attack the prison.
Yes.
Which is like so insane. So like why do you think it was so easy for him to like rally these people up for?
I don't know. I question that to this day. That part of the show kind of confused me, to be honest, because it did seem like people were like a little too quick to like agree to something like that, especially when they don't even know who the people at the prisoner are. I don't know. I don't know if it just, I don't know, because I don't remember if there were some bad eggs in that bunch. I feel like there were a couple.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of good people. And it's just kind of, I don't know, maybe just desperation. Just like, did he promise them? I don't remember if he said we would take that for ourselves.
Well, I think he says like we're going to, you know, get the prison and sort of, you know, he promises them that they're going to finally be safe and there's finally going to be shelter because they're kind of living out in the field at that point. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that that would be appealing to anybody, but the way that he's just able to persuade them so quickly, like, we're going to go in and, you know, hopefully, I think he says something like, hopefully we won't have to kill anybody.
Right.
But,
right.
Like, even when somebody phrases it like that to you, you're like, well.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really know that. I think that part, for me, I still just it didn't sit well, but it obviously made the story like a lot better. Like it gave it that drama, and that like gave you anxiety of what was going to happen. So obviously it was like, for the story it was good, but like for real life, I don't think that would happen.
Yeah,
Just my opinion.
I guess the only thing that I could think is that maybe those people were kind of really hoping for a leader and kind of yearning for somebody to kind of just take charge. So maybe that's kind of something that they kind of just followed suit. And by the time, you know, they got to the prison and everything started going to shit, was probably possibly the time that they were like, oh, maybe this isn't, you know, the best thing to happen, you know?
Yeah. I think so. I think that probably, I mean, you could see it in like Tara's face, I think, and like I think her girlfriend at the time too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tara does have literally my favorite Tara line ever in like all of The Walking Dead is when she just like looks at her girlfriend and she's just like, he chopped a guy's head off with a sword.
It's like,
such
what
a
are we doing?
realization, you know what I mean? Like she's like, what the hell is this? But I always thought that like the governor, he's like a politician. And he believes everything he says, but the one thing I always noticed is like whenever his scenes came up, the music that they play, I don't really think it's his theme, but the background music, it always sounded like a really steady heartbeat to me. And like I feel like he is just so good at bullshitting. Yeah. That's kind of, you know, even they put it into the music kind of like that he's so good at just saying what people need to hear in order to get them to do what he wants, which is probably what made him so dangerous.
Yeah.
I think because he had Andrea fooled like for the longest time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That annoying little arc that happens. I mean, it was just hard to watch because it's like, come on, you're so much smarter than this. So.
I know. I think you do need to take it with a grain of salt, with the sense that like she didn't have all the information that we did, but at the same time, you're just like, girl, like Michonne was suspicious the first second she was in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I thought it was absolutely crazy because, you know, the prison just got like over everybody being sick in the sick ward, Glenn almost dying, like all of this stuff happening. And then like the governor just shows up with a tank and you're just like, can we have a second to like breathe? I don't even know. Like it was absolutely insane. How did you feel, or how have you felt, I guess, about, because you brought up Tara, like her kind of progression since then? Because I feel like a lot of fans bring up the fact that she was on the other side of the fence a lot. Do you think that like affected, you know, what she became eventually? Or do you think she kind of goes back and forth?
Yeah, I don't know. It's her character. I mean, obviously with the whole Dwight thing that happened recently, her and Dwight, and it's like, well, you kind of can't really put the blame on him. You were in the same position, other than the fact that, like, you know, like she didn't murder anybody really, but you know, I don't know. It's just her character is really, like, it's hard to explain her character. Like, she's kind of just there, and, like, she obviously is important because Glenn, you know, like, her and Glenn got close, and
Yeah.
Glenn found her and took her and like brought her to the group, and like she's there after Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
And so but yeah, I guess I don't know
I think
if that's like answers anything.
No, that's fine, because that's like, honestly, I feel like so many people feel the same way, that she's so kind of back and forth. But I think like it's interesting because I mean, I do think everything that happened with Dwight was very emotionally driven. He did kill her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, the saviors killed Glenn, which was the closest. That was the man who saved her and the man who put faith in her, you know. So like that was a little more emotionally charged. But I do think that it's really interesting, because even back in the season, I want to say season 6 premiere, way back when, if you remember Nicholas, where he tried to, like, obviously tried to kill Glenn. And Tara was livid. And even, I think it was Maggie that said to her, you know, well, you know, if we all adhered to how you're feeling right now, you wouldn't even be with us. So I think it's kind of interesting. And I know a lot of people like especially with the Dwight stuff, called her a hypocrite and all of that stuff because she was on the other side of the fence with the governor. I don't know. I think it's a really interesting thing that she seems to not necessarily feel the same way as maybe Glenn did towards her in the beginning.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, I've always found her fascinating. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how she's going to progress. Maybe we'll get a little more insight into her. And hopefully she won't be as gun happy.
Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of did leave it off with her like getting shot by Dwight.
Yeah.
But like she realized he was trying to save her, and I feel like she kind of was more like thinking and I don't know. I think that might change her story, and especially with like the Oceanside girls coming in. And
yeah.
I am curious what they're going to do with her story, like where she's going to go. Because she's come so far, but at the same time, Carl came really far too. So
that's true. That's true. So. I think that, I mean, it's kind of bizarre with where they go with her. I think they kind of maybe didn't know for a while, but now they seem to be kind of on a clear path of where they're taking her character. Yes. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I would love more scenes with her and Rosita because I actually really like their friendship. And I would love to see like a little bit more of that. Yeah. But I feel like that's not on a lot of people's top priority list, but I think they're cute.
Right. No, I think I can see that. It looks like, well, actually, I can't remember if they had any moments in the trailer.
I don't think so.
She was with Eugene. I think Rosita was with Eugene.
Yeah,
but
which that's a whole other case.
Anyway, yeah.
So I'm actually going to go into, and those of you who are listening, reach into the like dusty corners of your brain for we're going to talk about Megan's death. Megan, if you guys don't remember, is the governor's kind of the best way I could put it, replacement daughter. I don't know.
Right.
And like, so how did you, so do you feel like the governor actually cared about Lily and Megan, or did you think that they were kind of filling a hole for what he already lost?
Yeah, at first I really did think he cared about them. And that goes to show how great of an actor he is, and like just how maybe delusional he is in that, like in his mindset, just maybe he believed that too.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think that at the end, like the way he shot her, shot Megan in the head, like when Lily brought her to to him, like, look what happened, she was bit and this and that. And it was just like there was no empathy at all. Like I just it was actually that scene, so it's creepy to me in a way. It's not like a scary thing. It's just it makes you feel kind of sick because of how like heartless and soulless he is in that moment.
Yeah.
So it just, yeah, I did think he cared about them, but at the same time, is that just us being duped as the audience? Like, are we supposed to feel that way? And he never cared, or he's just snapped? Like, you know, I don't know.
I think maybe it's a bit of both, to be honest. I think he cared for them. I think they did also fill some kind of void that he had. I think the governor, when he like saw that Megan was dead, when like Lily was like carrying her over, and he like grabs her and he just shoots her in the head so quickly,
Right.
and then just gets right back into battle. And I think like maybe that moment for him was like, all right, well, what am I doing this for? I might as well just kill everybody. You know, I mean, I feel like he was already trying to kill everybody. I don't know, you know, he's a tricky bird, that one.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with him. Like, you don't know. I mean, he's a great character.
Right.
That's,
because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, yeah, he was a good character. He just kind of, I don't know, that episode, this episode gave me a lot of anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember at the end of the episode, I was like, I felt like I wanted to throw up. I could barely breathe. And I was just like crying.
I know.
It was just a lot to take in.
And I think it was one of the, I wouldn't say it wasn't one of the first like heartbreaking ones, but it was one of the first like kind of like big battle episodes that we got, that we really weren't able to kind of take a breath and say, like, it wasn't just one grand death scene. It was like one grand death scene, and then now you're worried for every other character on the show as well. It wasn't just kind of one thing that you had to like kind of stomach and deal with. So it was a bit of an anxiety-inducing episode.
Right.
And talking about the deaths, obviously the big thing in this episode is Herschel leaving us, which was, I would say, probably one of the worst deaths that the show has had.
Yeah.
And so what do you think, why do you think the show chose Herschel to be the one that kind of...
Oh my gosh.
gets it?
I don't know. I just feel like they choose anybody who's the voice of reason to die.
Yeah.
Like, anyone who's like a good person dies. And it's confusing to me because I don't know. Obviously that was going to be, that's one of the changing points for Maggie. Like, she lost her father, and in like an extremely gruesome way. Like that, I feel like that death was, it was another really it was just really hard to watch that.
Yeah.
It was very realistic looking, yeah. And he was such a beloved character and a sweetheart, and to see him just, yeah. So I don't know why they chose him, but I think it definitely pushes the story along, you know, just changes everyone as a character, just like, you know, we live in an evil world now. Like, people, we can't trust people. Like, it's not only like the walkers that you have to worry about, it's also humans and humanity. And it was like humanity dying in a way when he died. And
I think there's a certain amount, because he really was kind of pushing, you know, everybody makes fun of Farmer Rick, but in general, like, Herschel was kind of pushing
the whole idea that we need to live like normal people. We can't forget who we once were. And with him literally losing his head, like, especially it's after this whole speech that Rick gives about, like, we're not too far gone. We can come back to the old world. We can, which it is very sweet to see that be the last thing that Herschel sees. You know, Rick saying that and Rick kind of taking Herschel's advice. But I think maybe that's kind of Herschel's death is kind of the catalyst that kind of made a lot of characters go through a whole lot of emotional turmoil that they went through for the rest of the season, I would guess. And I always thought it was interesting, and I'm kind of delving into the next season a little bit, but I did find it interesting that because I was always a big fan of the Green family, all of them, that Herschel and Beth both died like a very violent and to their head. Because
it was violent. Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Yeah, like they're violent, and then like he got decapitated and she got like shot through the head. And I always thought it was interesting that, because the thing about the Green family was they always kind of, I mean, Beth did have a stint where she was suicidal.
Yeah.
But honestly, even you could say that that's kind of a practical way of thinking of the world if you really thought about it. But the Green family kind of they were a pretty steady, you know, like good head on their shoulders type of people. No pun intended. And then, like, so I always thought it was really interesting that that's the way that they chose to kill off, you know, two big members of that family. Yeah,
I guess it's kind of...
And even Glenn, if you think about it, as an extension.
That's really dark.
I don't know why I think of this stuff. I need to stop.
No, I mean, obviously there's a point to that. There has to be. It's not, I don't think it's just a coincidence. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that. Like, wow.
Well, yeah, now I'm going to think about that for a while. And, so, I mean, obviously there was... Who do you think was the most impact by Herschel's death? Like, out of the remain... I mean, I guess you could say his daughters. But I think a lot of people were.
Yeah. No, I think everybody was. Yeah, everyone. I mean, he was the voice of reason. Like, he was always calm. His voice was soothing, and he had all that wisdom, and just, it's that. I think the whole group just changed. It really did. After that season, I think everyone was different.
I think he was also, like, really positive. Like, after he lost his leg...
Yeah.
It was like a few episodes later, he was like hopping on it and like didn't even care, you know? And that attitude is like so rare in this world that I think that probably was one of the greatest losses in regards to him.
I agree. I agree with that.
So is that like the moment that sticks out? Because obviously it's been forever since this episode aired, at least I think so. Is that the moment that really sticks out to you, or was there any other moment that you were like, that really like stuck with you over the years?
Yeah, so basically, definitely that part where the governor like yells or whispers liar.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge moment. What happens with like the battle, like that's huge. The other moment that sticks out to me is seeing Judith's car seat empty and blood.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where I was like, I lost it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, Carl killed Lori. Like, no way. She did not die like that. And like, that's why I think afterwards I like needed a lot of time. Like I literally was like, I felt like I needed to vomit. And just like Carl's reaction and Rick's reaction in that moment was so sad. Like they had no time to even mourn her. They had to like hurry up and leave because there was walkers coming. It's just, yeah, they ended that really depressing. It just, that scene just sticks out to me. I don't know. I don't like when things happen to kids. Yeah. And that happens a lot in the show, but.
Well, there's just something so heart-wrenching about, I mean, I felt sick. I remember watching that and like physically feeling ill.
Yeah.
Which this show has done to me just a couple of times, and that was definitely one of them. And it didn't even like occur to me that it could have been a fake out, because I was kind of waiting. I was like, they're going to have to get rid of this baby at some point.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have a baby like all of like.
Right.
Well, apparently you can, because I mean, but like so I was kind of waiting for it to happen, but I didn't think it would be like that. And yeah, I think Carl and Rick's reaction really, it's like the icing on the cake when it comes to how devastating that scene is.
Yes.
So I think like one of the main questions I wanted to ask you, because I felt like back at the time when this episode aired, there were so many different opinions on this, but were you hoping for anyone specific to be the one that killed the governor when the time came, or were you just happy with anyone as long as he goes, or did you like the governor and wanted him to live?
No, the governor had to die. I think I wanted it to either be Rick or Michonne.
Yeah.
I know that like I wasn't in the reaction game at that point, but I could imagine that being like a big issue, because I mean, I was happy he died anyways. Like I was, at the end of the day, I was like, great, but I feel like it would have been better if it was Michonne or Rick.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. But I still, like, enjoyed his death. Like, it was...
Yeah. It's a pleasing death for anyone.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I think I personally wanted Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, like, really... I don't think was a popular opinion, but I think just what he did to Glenn and what he did to her when they were captured, and then, like, seeing what he did to Herschel... I really kind of in that battle scene was like, I kind of hope just Maggie comes up behind him and just clocks him in the head, you know? Like, just...
Yeah. Because she never even got close to him, right?
No, I mean, she was just more concerned about saving Glenn and getting him out of there. Understandable.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
No, I was trying to remember that, because I think that would have been good as well if it was her. There were so many people that could have killed him that would have been like great.
Yeah, like it justified. I mean, obviously, I think Michonne was the big fan favorite, and she did do the majority of the killing, because she did stab him through like the heart or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think because she was so against him and everything he did to Andrea, it made sense that Michonne had a big hand to play in that. But I remember everybody kind of rooting for like somebody different to be the one who killed him.
I guess that's true. That's just really, it's funny to think about it. But
he messed with a lot of people.
He did. Yeah, he sure did.
At the end of the episode, when like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't even know if I was gonna say. I forgot, actually.
Oh, okay, that was
okay. I think I was pretty much done. I was just like, maybe a thought popped in, and I was like, But
at the end of the episode, so like all of the groups kind of split up for the rest of, almost the rest of season 4. Was there any group in particular that you like really wanted to see, like wanted to follow after the prison, out of all kind of the split up groups? Like, Rick and Carl, Beth and Daryl, Carol and Tyrese, like any kind of those groups that you loved?
I think Beth and Daryl was like a favorite, and Carl and Rick for
Yeah.
me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really did like Carl and Rick together
Mm-hmm.
in that I remember really, and I know that a lot of people think so very fondly of Carl, especially after this last season, so I don't want
Yeah.
to, but I remember never, I'm going to be blunt, hating him more than when he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't even know if you remember this scene, but when he was like kicking Rick when Rick was unconscious, like yelling at him about like about the prison falling and mom's dead and I'm like, Carl.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
your
I
dad's
think I
just
do
fought to the
remember.
death. Like
Yeah, I do remember that. I wasn't happy with him either because I was like, okay, your dad's dying. He's like, or he is dead. We don't know, but just like, don't do that.
I know
Yeah.
he's a kid. I know he's a kid. I
Yeah.
always had to say that.
I know. He was still pretty young then, I think. I
And
can't remember if he was like 14 or something.
yeah.
Or
And
I don't know.
I do remember, I mean, this was kind of the time where Rick was kind of giving him more responsibility and counting on him more, um, which was good. I mean, Carl was always a really good shot,
Mm-hmm.
especially before he lost the eye. Um,
Yeah.
but because I remember in the actual battle that when like the shootout was happening, Carl was the only one who actually hit the governor.
Oh,
And I
okay.
remember being like, "Hey,
Huh.
Carl, all right."
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's
So
actually really cool.
yeah, it's weird, and like Daryl was right next to him. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't hit him. I'm just
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I like that little, like, I like that they added that detail into the show.
yeah. It's always kind of interesting that because I believe you know Carl was always supposed to be like a good shot, and that's kind of the reason that like he was good at what he did, and so there was that whole thing where he shot that kid who was surrendering, and like kind of why I think
Oh,
Rick was
yeah.
protective in the first place because
Yeah.
Carl was actually pretty good, so he had to kind of remind Carl that like we can't just like shoot people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Rick was Farmer Rick,
Right.
not
Right.
Crazy Beard Rick, which is my favorite Rick.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Yeah. But that was a really good, like, I feel like that episode, although it was very scary, it just, it was probably one of the better episodes. Just, it was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like everybody loved Herschel. I don't know. I know that there's like whenever you talk to somebody about The Walking Dead and you ask them who their favorite is, everybody's going to kind of say somebody different
Mm-hmm.
because everybody reacts differently in different situations and stuff like that. But I don't think I've ever like met anybody who said like, "Oh man, I really hated Herschel." You know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that was like a
Oh,
thing.
no, that would, I'm sure there's someone out there that does, because people always have to, I don't know, be like that. But yeah, that's pretty rare, I think.
Maybe back in like the farm season, you know,
Maybe.
where he was kind of like keeping walkers in a shed.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or in the barn. Like, I think maybe that people weren't, you know. But what I loved about Herschel is he was really hopeful, but he wasn't naive
Mm-hmm.
by any means. Like, he had kind of a, you know, he was a recovering alcoholic. He had a past. He's seen some shit. He's lived
Right.
life. It wasn't like he was kind of like, let's all be hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, without kind of knowing that he's kind of been through his own, you know, stuff with his like first wife dying and kind of all of that. I think that is kind of what made him so relatable to people.
Right.
That he actually it wasn't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But you were close. You were close, Herschel.
You are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, I think that that's about it for the actual episode, unless there's anything that you kind of wanted to touch on that I didn't mention.
No, I feel like that. I feel like we talked about like at least all the highlights of the episode.
Yeah.
I can't think of something right now that would. Yeah, I mean, it was just a great episode. It still is a great episode.
It is definitely one of the ones that I will rewatch a bit, because I rewatched it to prep for this, and I remembered it a lot more than like some other episodes that I'm doing for this.
Right.
So maybe it is a favorite of mine, and but I tend to really like season 4. I think a lot of people don't really like it, but I was a big fan.
No, I liked it. I think there might have been some parts that were like, but I think it had a lot of good moments too. So it's hard to like hate The Walking Dead. I don't know. I mean, I can understand like the last couple of seasons, just big moments like Glenn's death and people being super angry about that, or Carl.
Right.
I can understand that. I mean, other than the Glenn death did happen in the comics, so that's
right.
That's the only difference. I can still understand the anger, but yeah, I'm excited to see where this new season goes.
I am too. It seems like it's kind of fresh. It seems like the new showrunner, it might be actually really exciting. So
yeah,
let's hope.
yeah. I think that's all we can do, I guess, is just wait and see. But I do hope it's good.
All right. So how I've been ending all of these chats so far is I have been playing kind of a game with everyone, where I'm basically just going to ask you some, I think it's 15 questions, kind of a this, that, would you rather kind of Walking Dead edition.
Mm-hmm.
And just like answer like the first thing comes to your mind. Some of them are kind of difficult, but
okay.
So I am just going to start. So in the apocalypse, would you rather have an endless supply of food or an endless supply of weapons?
Wow, that's a really good question. Oh, wow. I instantly went to food, but that's because I'm hungry, but I feel like in the apocalypse you need weapons, but you need food too. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, how about weapons, because weapons can get you food?
That's a very smart answer. Nobody said
Okay. We'll go with that.
Who would you rather babysit your kids, Negan or the governor?
Negan. He seems good with kids, I think.
Yeah, I guess they keep dying around the governor. So maybe not the best. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather spend a summer road tripping in the RV with Dale or spend a summer farming with Herschel?
These questions are really good. I think I'd farm with Herschel.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we just talked about Herschel a bit. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be by your side and loyal to you throughout the entire apocalypse? Aaron or Jesus?
Oh. I would say Aaron, because I know, like, Jesus is a really cool character, but I feel like Aaron is just always there. Like, he's been there.
Yeah.
Like, from day one, whenever he got there. So I trust him a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Who would you rather be stuck in a prison cell with? Merle or Simon?
Maybe Merle. I don't know. I'll just. He seems like fun. You know. I won't get bored, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true. Would you rather be alive and a cannibal or a walker chained to Negan's fence?
Wow. Oh, yeah, that one stumped me. Oh, what? I don't know. I don't know. That's so weird. Like if I say I want to be a cannibal, that's gonna be so weird. I don't want to die. I don't want to be stuck to a fence. I mean, other than if I was a walker, I don't think I would even know.
Right.
Okay. I'll just go cannibal.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, once you go cannibal, there's no end to that sentence.
Yeah.
Would you rather live in a community with Gregory as the leader or with Spencer as the leader?
Gosh, I would have to go with Spencer.
Yeah.
Just go with Spencer on that.
Okay. Would you rather eat a tub of chocolate pudding with Carl on a rooftop or get drunk on moonshine with Daryl and Beth?
Oh, I'll pick Carl because I miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. Would you rather the show give a flashback to Glenn and Maggie's wedding or finally show what in the hell happened to Heath?
Oh gosh. I'm sorry, Heath. I'd rather see the flashback of the wedding. That would be super sweet.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
Okay, this one's morbid. And
Okay.
people have been mad at me for this question, so.
Oh God.
If you had to choose, who would you rather beat to death with Lucille? Ezekiel or Jerry?
That's hilarious. I would choose Ezekiel because I feel like he would take it with pride, and like Jerry is just too just lovable, and like he's like a teddy. You're kidding, a teddy bear, a puppy.
That's true. Would you rather bring Shiva back to life or ensure that Judith survives until the end of the show?
Sorry, guys. I'm going to go with Judith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do that one.
Well, I mean, people might agree with you.
Okay. I don't know. A lot of people are like animals over humans. But I think it would be great if she... I mean, we don't have Carl anymore, so she has to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've already mourned Shiva. I get it.
Yeah, we did.
Would you rather be as smart as Eugene or as good of a shot as Sasha?
I'd be as good of a shot like Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather, this is another one that people didn't like, would you rather make Carol look at the flowers or kill Michonne with her own sword?
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no! I feel like it's like, even if I answer, it doesn't mean it's real, but I'm like freaking out. Oh my goodness.
The writers are listening.
I know, right? Oh my god, no, don't do it. I don't. Oh, I mean, oh man. Oh man, I think I'd I'd have to shoot Carol. I don't know. just seems kind of like a full circle thing.
You just can't do it to Michonne.
No, not with her own sword. That's what it was. The sword. Her sword.
Who would you rather be on your side in a fight to the death, Rick or Daryl?
Rick. Because he bites people's necks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't need weapons. I get
nope.
it. Yep. And finally, the last question. Who would you bring back to life if you could? Glenn or Carl?
Oh. Man, that's probably the hardest one.
That's why I saved it for last.
Oh. Wow, I don't know. that one. Oh, because Glenn's my favorite. He's like my favorite character. I'm just thinking like for the show and for the future, I feel like Carl might be better to come back because I feel like he had more to do.
Right.
But gosh, that's I have to go with Carl. But even though I just love Glenn,
yeah,
aww.
It's an understandable. There are no right or wrong answers here.
I know. It's just so sad. Aww.
Well, and that is the final question.
That concludes it.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna listen to any of the other chats when they go up, you can see how everybody is getting asked the same question. So you guys can all see how you did.
That'll be fun.
But
those are great questions, though. By the way.
Thank you.
Really
I literally like sat down for like I had like a Saturday afternoon off, and I just sat there and like racked my brain for like.
No, they're really good.
Well, thank you. So that is about it. Honestly, thank you so much for like taking the time to do this.
Sure.
It's so sweet of you.
No, thank you for reaching out, though. I do appreciate that. And I mean, hopefully this opens the door for more, reactors, and especially like the Walking Dead people, but anybody to just reach out to whoever, because I think everybody wants to like do stuff. I think we all are open to doing things if we can,
Yeah. No, it's actually been really sweet that like quite a few people that I reached out to were interested. And I only had 8 slots open, but I told anybody else who was interested that I'd try to figure out something to do like later on and stuff with
That's
them.
really
So,
cool.
Yeah. Because I am only one person. I can't do
Right.
But so thank you guys so much for listening. And I will see you guys for another Walking Dead video tomorrow. Bye.